Hello, everyone. We'll be starting up here in just a few minutes. Hopefully the comments are going to come through here on the site. I haven't done a yeah, it's not King Frat. It's definitely not King Frat. No, it's not purple. Not Purple People Eater. No, it's not that. What does my shirt say? Oh, it's just a Deadpool shirt. It was on sale. And when you find something on sale in my size, you tend to grab as many of them as you can. I think I've got 2 or 3 of these. As far as some of the other titles coming up, the next one that'll be announced will be probably Angel of Heat with Marilyn Chambers, because actually that one's very close to being done. I can show you that's what it's going to look like. We actually have the old cards almost completely finished here. This is a demo of it, but that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be an awful lot of fun. And then the Prom Night sequels, we had a long delay on those for a while there. There were some issues with the elements. They thought they knew where they were, then they didn't know where they were, and then some of them were over here, some of them were over there. But finally, we've gotten that all sorted out, thank God. So, that will be, we're now full steam ahead on those at last. So there'll be more news on those coming up, but those were oh man, those were just a headache. And then Fright Night 2 is coming along very, very well. We're very far along on that one, so that one's coming up probably after Angel of Heat. 976 Evil 2, we're in the early stages on that one. And then there's a couple other things we've got planned, which I can't talk about yet, but. Oh yeah, that. Hey Steve, yeah, that was me. I Oh yeah, I think I might remember that actually, because a couple people would do that. Would send stuff to us, and um, what DVDs did I send you? I'm trying to remember what they were. But that's my alarm, so I didn't fall asleep before I did this. I have a tendency to nap unexpectedly sometimes. Well, the RSV numbers on the spine don't indicate just like a specific movie. We use those for because like I think on Trick or Treat we had two different, for the single disc editions of the Blu-ray and the UHD. So when I say it's release number 4, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the number 4 on the package. But this is the 4th release. If you count After Effects as the first one, which was sort of a soft launch, followed by Trick or Treat, then Hearts of Darkness, this is the 4th release, technically. All right. Do you think the movie Pieces should be a regular midnight movie the way Rocky Horror is? It's certainly got enough outrageous elements to be a midnight movie. I know Grindhouse Releasing, who owns that, they would probably agree with me on that sentiment. It's certainly that's one that's born to be a midnight movie. Absolutely. Hello, Andrew. How are you? Good to see you. Reanimator and Dead and Buried? I doubt it was either one of those because we didn't have Reanimator at the time that I was still working there, and we never had Dead and Buried, so it might have been something else. But God, that was 20 plus years ago. So yeah. Will I be at Flashback Weekend? I don't think so. My schedule is kind of crazy back and forth right now, but I doubt very seriously that I will be at Flashback this year. I'm not buying you all a nice Spaniard meal in a few weeks. I'm not doing that. If anyone, someone should be buying me one. So we got about 28 people. We're about, okay. All right. Well, the announcement, which is now live on Synapse's website, and I'm sure will be also live on Orbit DVD and Diabolic DVD as well, is that Hunter's Blood, after a very, very long process to get it done, is out and about. The limited edition is now officially available, the 4th release from Red Shirt Home Video. We are doing, as you can see in the image here, there's 2 different covers. One by Sean Longmore, who did our cover C for Trick or Treat, and then the original painting that Graham Humphreys did for the UK release. I believe it was Palace Video, I think, had it out. And so he was very kind, and we were able to work out getting his painting for the second cover, cover B. So cover A is Sean Longmore's, cover B is for Graham Humphreys' art. And then the inside slipcase, as you can see in the image, has the U.S. theatrical art, which was one of the theatrical arts, but that was one of the ones that Manson International used with Bruce Glover's character pointing the rifle right into the camera. And then the backside is the video art. It was commonly referred to as the video art that Embassy used. So that'll be the reverse cover for the slipcase. And then it comes with a very nice big booklet with a couple of essays in it. One by Mike Gingold and the other by me. That was I have a mock-up here. I still don't have the final one with me here, but it looks like this. It looks like a survivor manual or hunter's manual, survival guide. And that's in there. And then it comes with 6 lobby card reproductions, which have 6 different poster arts on the back, including a lot of the ones you see here, and some ones that were somewhat unusual, including one with a girl in cut-off denim shorts who does not appear in the movie at all, but was used to promote. I was like, all right, well, I guess that makes perfect sense. Then there's a double reverse poster, one that has the Sean Longmore art and then the Graham Humphreys art on the other side. And then, of course, it has a UHD and a Blu-ray inside as well. In terms of the extras, there are a lot. Uh, More than I would have thought possible initially for Hunter's Blood, because there was quite a few of the cast members are sadly no longer with us. Clu Gulager in particular, Sam Bottoms is no longer around. There's just some people that were not going to be available for this, and it was initially I thought going to be something of a challenge to do really much of anything other than maybe a commentary or something. However, the owner of the film, the producer Merle Schreibman, who's now sadly also no longer with us, he passed away last August. But before that, he managed to do a commentary with me for this, and also for Angel of Heat, which he produced and directed as well, although he didn't direct Hunter's Blood. But he managed to corral 5 other members of the crew, and they all met at his house, and we were able to get interviews with them for a making of piece, which was a real treat, and something that I was just not really anticipating was going to be a possibility. It was just like, wow. I was kind of blown away by that, and so this ended up being a much more intricate special edition than I originally thought it was going to be, which is it's a good thing, So it's nice to. It's nice to have more when you don't expect it. So basically, we have the commentary with myself and Merle Schreibman, and then we have another commentary with Amanda Reyes and J.A. Kurzweil that covers not just the movie, but its place in sort of survivalist horror. And then we have the making of Hunter's Blood, which is called The Woods Run Red, and it has interviews with Merle Schreibman. It has actors Maeve Nutter, Lee DeBrew, and Brian Rasmussen, and Gene Glazer. And then we have the stunt coordinator, Ron Hutchinson, as well. And he tells some great stories, because there were a lot of really complicated stunts in that movie, and some ones that were a little dicey and almost went south a couple of times. But we have that. And then a filmmaker and film expert, Mike Malloy, contacted me, and he had an unused audio interview with Bruce Glover that covered Hunter's Blood in depth, and we were able to include that as well. So we have an audio interview with Bruce Glover, who also sadly has now passed away. We have 3 trailers. We have a teaser trailer, a theatrical trailer, and a video trailer, a full still gallery, and then of course the collector's cards and the booklet that I discussed. So these are shipping immediately. They're done. They're sitting waiting at all of the various retailers I described, including Synapse. That's where they are. They're ready to go. So we are only doing 5,000 overall, 2,500 of each cover, and then that's it. Will there be a single disc release at some point? Most likely, but unlike Trick or Treat, which had sort of a built-in audience, I don't know necessarily if this one's going to play out that same way. So we don't have that on our boards right now. That's certainly not something that we're planning, but so if you want Hunter's Blood, this is, I think, certainly the way to go do it. So this is it. It's Red Shirt. Well, Trick or Treat was actually technically the second one. The first Red Shirt release was After Effects, the expanded edition of After Effects, which we did like 1,000 of. It was actually a Diabolic exclusive. It's still on their site, I think, and also maybe Amazon. And then the third release was Hearts of Darkness, which was a couple of months ago. And are they in stock at Orbit? Yes, they have they have them. They have. We verified that both Diabolic and Orbit have their copies in hand. So there you go. There you go. If anybody has any questions about the movie or anything else. But yeah, it's finally available and out. This one was a long process, and I'm very, very, very relieved that it's now available. This movie's been unavailable since its VHS release. It never had a DVD release, never had a Blu-ray release anywhere. It just got buried. It was one of those this happens to some of these movies, and I don't know why. I've never understood how a film that a lot of people are aware of just goes missing. But this one was a situation where the rights were entangled with a couple of different entities for a little while, and then they reverted back, and the producer Merle didn't really realize he had them because he was off doing other things. That happens also sometimes, is that these guys are active in the business doing other projects, and they don't, stuff they did 10, 15, 20 years ago, it doesn't come back on their radar until literally someone puts it back in front of them. So, but I'm very, very proud of this release. It was a lot, and a lot of work, and took more time than I was anticipating. But then again, don't they all? At some point, they all take too much time. So there you go. That's the big news, is Hunter's Blood, which is something that I think a lot of people have been wanting to see for a long time. I've had a lot of people ask me questions about this movie. A lot of people ask me questions about this movie. And I think it's interesting how many people are aware of it, despite the fact that you really couldn't get anywhere. I mean, literally the last official release of this was the Embassy VHS and the Laserdisc. That was it. And so that's a long time to go without being able to buy a copy of it really in any other format. Because again, it never had a DVD release even. So when is the VHS version coming? It's not anytime soon. Yeah, but it's a great. The thing about Hunter's Blood I like is it's just very straightforward and very direct. It's not a hard film to understand. They set it up, and yet there's some really interesting nuanced sort of discussion about who's really the bad guy in the movie. The hunters, or the sort of I keep wanting to call them the inbred cannibals, but the sort of let's just say that the natives, basically. They're both of them make crucial mistakes and have questionable attitudes about some things, because the hunters kind of bring it on themselves to some degree. And it's interesting to see that it's not quite as clear cut as you might think. And it's definitely a film in the spirit of deliverance and rituals. It's definitely in that mode. But what's fun about it is the cast. I think the cast is... He got such a great cast for this movie. Everyone from Clu Gulager to Billy Drago to Sam Bottoms to Bruce Glover, who's just it is Bruce Gloveriest in this. You've got Maeve Nutter, and you've got all these wonderful people who were just these seasoned character actors who just knew how to do this stuff. And then you got people, Billy Bob Thornton. This was his first movie. This was his first theatrical feature that he was ever in. And then he got his SAG card as a result of this, because Merle Schreiman took a liking to him. He originally wasn't going to have a line, but now he does. And so he's in the bar scene. You'll see him. He has a red hat on in the background a couple times, and then he gets thrown from a truck during a chase sequence. So and the character is credited as Billy Bob. So, but it was his first movie. That's it was. So I wish we could have gotten him for the release, but I think Landman just occupied all his time while we were doing all this. And you never know if the people you're speaking to who represent him actually ever communicate anything to him. So this may be a complete surprise to him that this is coming out. But I hope that he thinks of it fondly, at least. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't the most challenging part he ever did. But, any update on Intruder? No update from me. That's going to be a Synapse release, but it is in the works. I do know that much. But I can't really give you any firm release details or information on that one, as it's a Synapse title. But I will say this, there will be some new things on there. So it's not going to be just a port over of what we did originally. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. Thank you. I believe it is Percy Rodriguez doing the voiceover, and I wonder if it's possible to even tally up how many different trailers he did over the course of his lifetime. It has to be in the hundreds, in the several hundreds. I mean, I can't imagine how many he's done. No. Um, so yeah, that's the skinny on Hunter's Blood. I hope that everyone who's interested in this movie gets it's Marvin. Yeah, it's live, and it's not really a pre-order. It's just an order. They're done. They're ready to go. So no waiting. There's no more waiting. So just they will be shipping out. I think Monday probably from everybody. So they're Richie Sandberg. Thanks for releasing this going in raw. Well, that's nice. That's great. But yeah, it's a release I'm very proud of, and I think people are really going to love it. And I'm it's a movie that has deserved attention for a long time, long time, and I hope that. Yeah, I hope that people are able to enjoy it and recommend it to friends. And again, that's it. That's all. I mean, again, we're doing the 5,000, 2,500 of each, and then there shall be no more, because this was a pretty big undertaking for a film that was whoever that is I'm not talking to. Pretty big undertaking for a small movie like this, but it was a film that I felt that a lot of people, even if they hadn't seen it, they had heard of. I can't tell you how many people have told me, I've heard about that movie, but I've never seen it. So this is great to be able to reintroduce this. And also, it's a tribute to, because Merle Schreibman, I worked with him pretty closely there for several months, doing the commentaries and getting some materials back and forth. And he was really, really fun to work with and really a great guy to work with on this. And I was just so saddened by his passing. His health had been in decline, but when you watch him in the interview, you would never guess that there was anything going on with him. He just was so lively and so full of memories and everything. But sadly, he unexpectedly passed away last August. I think it was late last August. In fact, the booklet's dedicated to him. I was able to make some changes to the booklet at the end and dedicate the whole project really to him. So, because this wouldn't have happened without him. So, well, thank you, Payne. I appreciate that. Payne Elemental, thank you very much for that recognition and fame. That I don't have any fame, and I don't really want any fame, and I don't think you get famous by doing this. I don't think that's a good Lord. Sorry, I gotta turn my phone off. I'm not expecting to be getting calls this time of the day. Will they be available at Texas Frightmare Weekend? If someone's selling, if Orbit or Synapse or Diabolic is there, then yeah, I would imagine they would be, unless they're sold out by then. But I can't believe by the time Texas Frightmare rolls around, which is I think like a couple of weeks. So yeah, if someone's selling Diabolic or Orbit's there, yeah, then I would imagine they will be. Oh, was the original camera negative easy to find? Surprisingly, yes. It had been donated to an archive, and we knew exactly where it was, and it was actually, there was very little mystery about where it was at all. And it was in great shape, because Lord knows no one had touched it in 40 years almost. So actually that was one of the easier parts of this project was getting access to the negative. Which is sometimes not the case, as it has been with the Prom Night movies. But again, that's been worked out, thankfully, so that's all good. Yeah, no missing out. Yeah, and it's always so upsetting when you have information. Okay, everything's there, and then you get there, and oh, the last reel of the negative is we don't know where that is. Whoops. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. So nothing's ever for granted. You can have all the confirmation in the world, but until you get the elements in hand and look at them, um, you don't know. You just don't know. But no, this one, thankfully was easy enough to get. So that fortunately was not a part of was not a headache on this particular release. We had other headaches, but there's always headaches with these things. So anybody else, if you have any other questions, I'm not going to make this one very long. This was just here to basically tell everyone in more eloquent terms, but basically tell everyone to go get it, because it's out there. And again, we're only doing 2,500 of each cover. So if you want it, now's the time to get it, because they're packed up and they're ready to ship. And I like being able to do it like this, where we announce it and it's like it's done. Go get it. You don't have to. We have to wait another couple of months. They're there and they're ready for you to go. And I hope that you get a big kick out of them. It's a film that it's been a long road, very, very long road, but it's been well worth it. And it's a privilege to be reintroducing this movie to the audience and really giving it the life that it's deserved to have for the last. I mean, the movie came out technically in '86, but went wide in '87, so it's been almost 40 years. We're almost at the 40-year anniversary, which is kind of weird. But yeah, for so much of that, I mean, the last time it was in print would have been sometime in the mid to late 90s, and that's it. That would have been the last time you could have gotten it. So, was the Synapse Near Dark announcement real? Could have been real. Anyway, you know what, Steve? I do remember talking to you. I remember, because I didn't do that for everybody. Sometimes we would get stuff in, and honestly, that's fine. I do remember this because we would get short films in sometimes, or submissions in, and you try to look at everything, and sometimes you just didn't have time. But I would get sent some stuff, and to be honest, some of it was like, ugh, and but you never want to go back and say, hey, thanks for sending this in, but no, you don't want to be rude about it, because look, anytime anyone picks up a camera and actually goes and does something, I think should be celebrated. If the results don't bear out the effort that went into it, hey, that happens to everybody. Everybody fucks up and makes mistakes, or everybody, especially this guy. But I do remember yours, and I do remember being impressed by it. And I think that's why I must have called you, because when you see something that was good, this is about this. Oh, there's something here. You want to make sure that person knows that, so that they keep doing it. But I do remember, because I think you may have been one of the only people I ever did actually call. But I do remember that. I do remember that very well, because I got a lot of the I worked in acquisitions to a large degree, so I would get a lot of the submissions to review, and but like I said, a lot of the times you would get 5 minutes into it and be like, ooh, this isn't, God bless them, but this didn't work out very well. But I do remember yours impressing me, and I thought that yeah, this guy deserves a pat on the back and encouragement. So. But it's funny, but I do remember that. I do remember that very much. Did I get a chance to see Hunter's Blood in theaters? No, I did not. I don't know if it ever played. I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina at the time. I don't know if it ever played there or not. It may have, and I just didn't notice it, because its theatrical release was not exactly noteworthy. But it did play a lot of markets, but I don't remember if it ever. I saw it basically because I saw this poster. I got this poster, which was the video poster, the blue one of the guy lying in the river. And I got that. Actually, I tell this whole story in the essay that I wrote. And that's how I heard about it. I went, what the hell is this? And then I found the tape and I watched it and went, hey, this is a good little movie. And then, that was it. And again, it was just like, well, and it's come up over the years. In fact, I'm sure it came up at Anchor Bay when I was there and we couldn't find out the situation with it back then. So it's just one of those ones that's just been kind of kicked around and it's like, oh, here you go. With so many releases that you've worked on, have you ever sold out through a pre-order? A pre-order? No, because I don't think we've done a lot. Because like Trick or Treat was like this. We just had them and go get them. But I don't remember ever selling out on a pre-order. No. But then again, I've only done a few releases. So, but Trick or Treat didn't take very long to sell out. That was unusual. I think we launched it on a Friday like this, and then by Monday, almost all of them were gone. So that was just kind of like unexpected. I don't know how this one's going to do. I'm hoping it does very well. Because again, I think what the appeal of this one is that you're not going to have owned 12 versions of it prior to this, because you literally can't. It was VHS and Laserdisc, and that's it. So I mean, if you do own it, you're going to want an upgrade, and this is a pretty significant upgrade. Very significant upgrade. But Fright Night 2, are we still working on the 4K scan? No, that's done. The 4K scan and the color timing and all that's, and the audio is all done. The picture and sound are all finished on Fright Night 2. We're in the process of compiling all the extras, and there are a lot for that. And we're in the end stages of getting that done. And then the packaging. So there's still a lot of steps, but the film is done and it looks beautiful. It looks and sounds beautiful. You're not going to believe how good that movie looks. It's never been presented properly. Even in the widescreen versions that did come out, mostly overseas, which look, compared to what we got here in the States, good Lord. But the colors are just going to pop so much more, and the black levels are just, it looks so much more like a real movie now than before, because it was always kind of flat. And Mark Irwin, the DP, got to come in there and really work with our colorist David Block and give some notes, and this thing, it's going to look great. I think people are going to really love it. So I'm very much happy with how the visual side of that looks, and the audio as well. Yeah, I know people always complain about prices, and I get that. But the problem is, in order to do these things upright, you have to spend a lot of money and a lot of time, especially when it comes to 4K. Blu-ray is a lot less labor intensive and a lot less costly, but 4K just, you might as well, it's almost like 4 times the cost in some, certainly in terms of the restoration work you have to do, because it's not, 4K is not very forgiving. You can't just, there's a certain amount of cleanup that you could not do on Blu-ray, because you didn't have to worry too much about, well, that won't show or that won't show. Although Blu-ray is actually much more, that was a big leap over DVD even, but 4K is just like, it's almost like being under a microscope. So Don and his team, and they have to really get in there and make sure that everything is 100%. And then you have the color timing, the HDR and all that stuff. So it adds a whole nother process to this. And then replication is more expensive. There's the licensing of the UHD. It's a whole thing with UHD. So, you have to, it's expensive. And it's kind of going back to what it was like in the Laserdisc days, when you would buy a box set for $89, $90, sometimes even more than that. And it's not that, people are trying to gouge on the prices. It's just because we can't do this for $30. I guess we could, but we'd be losing $20 on each unit, And, and not every film is going to get a big box set like this. It's not like I'm going to do every single thing I do like this. Like Angel of Heat, for example, which I just showed. That's just a slip cover a very nice slipcover over a standard case because we didn't have enough materials for that to justify a box set. And also, that movie I don't think warranted that, you know. So we make a decision based on the film itself and what materials we can bring to it. But like Fright Night 2, yeah, we're going all out on that one, obviously. But like possibly on Prom Nights 3 and 4, I don't know if we'll do boxes on those. But Hello Mary Lou, yeah, you know. So it's, you pick and choose your battles. Hunter's Blood, we could have just gone with a standard one, but I felt that this movie, there's something special about this one, and I wanted to do something more in line with what we did for Trick or Treat, and I think that we've accomplished that very, very well, and I hope people will really enjoy it because this movie deserved a big. It finally is getting a big release. You know, it's never gotten that before. Every release of it that it has had, which has been few, has been sort of perfunctory, just sort of, yeah, here it is. This is the release for this month, and then we're moving on to the next thing. So we're making a big we're making a big deal about this. We're making a big deal about this. Oh yeah, we did do a 5-1 on Hunter's Blood because we had really good audio elements to work from. So we do have a 5-1 available on that. Ghoulies 4 is a possibility. We haven't looked into that one, but I could ask about it. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, the other three are out there now, so you can get high quality Blu-rays of Ghoulies 1, 2, and 3. So I guess 4, just for completist sake, we should have Ghoulies 4 out there. Oh, Mel, what are you kidding about? I didn't see what you even said. If you can afford the 4K, then don't be poor. Or if you can't afford the, don't. Oh, Mel, thanks. You're great. What about 976 Evil 2, The Asshole Factor? Well, it's coming. That's in the early stages as well. There's just been other things that have come up before that one, but it's on the docket. I don't know about Dodato's body count. I thought I heard someone was doing that, but maybe I was wrong. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with that one. It'd be a good one to do. There's a lot of good ones to do out there, but it's a matter of, again, it's not just the rights, but it only played in Sanford and Raleigh. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because I would have remembered if it had played in Charlotte. Because that was during the time where I was, you know, rapidly making sure and going to see any horror movie that opened in that era. Because that was not long after I full-fledged dove into horror, so I would have been on the lookout for that. And it didn't get coverage in Fangoria that I can recall, other than a review. I think it got a review in the video section. That may have been it. So I wouldn't have even been that aware of Hunter's Blood prior to it coming out. Am I still involved with the new Vestron titles? A lot of them. Not all of them anymore. They've got other people, and they've been bringing out a few other ones, like the Stoned Age. I wasn't involved with that one. And May, which they just ported over what Second Sight had done, because what else could I possibly have done for that? But I am working on, right now, 2 more for them. And that'll be coming out by the end of the year. So... Sleeping Car would be a fun one to do. That movie. I think that was just a bad title for that movie. It sounds tired, just the title, The Sleeping Car. It doesn't. That was not a good title for that movie. But that one would be a great one to do. That one. Any 80s beloved are you working? Well, I mean, all the stuff you've already heard about. And then, of course, there are a couple other things I'm doing for other people, but, you know. But yeah, The Sleeping Car, that was Jim the World's Greatest. Make that happen. I don't know what the hang. I think I want to say, and I'm sure Don Coscarelli would be the person to ask, but I believe there might have been music rights issues, I think, which is why that's never come out. Because I think Universal still has that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the exact deal is with that, because I'm sure if it had been possible to release that, Don would have figured out a way to get it from them or to use or get them to release it, because I mean that's just been sitting there forever. Children of the Night and Sever Ties from Tony or from Sony. Oh, those would be fun to do. Yeah, yeah. As far as Near Dark, I can't really say much about anything about Near Dark. That may or may not be Synapse's decision to talk about. I will say this though, if I had an opportunity to work on a 4K restoration of Near Dark and do new interviews and stuff like that, you better believe I would jump at the chance. Absolutely. Because that movie means a lot to me for a variety of reasons. That movie has been in my life in various capacities at several junctures. And that would be one I would jump at the chance to work on. But, you know, maybe. Oh, yeah, Blackout. God, I haven't thought about it. There's another one Anthony Hickox did called Full Eclipse, was his werewolf movie. That's another one I would love to see come back out. Zombie Gourmet Chef, yeah. I always called it, I don't know why I was so stupid about that. I looked at that. Oh, look, what's the Zombie Gourmet Chef? What is gourmet? I don't know what that is. I didn't get the pun, you know. Not smart. That was not smart back then. And many would argue I am not smart now. But, it's just the Gourmet Chef. But, yeah, so HBO doesn't, well, HBO is part of Warner Brothers. They never, I don't think they've ever licensed out a title. I don't think they've ever done that. Yeah, it's just, it's weird, the HBO side of things. Because there's Cast a Deadly Spell over there and Witch Hunt and The Hitcher was them, you know. So, but Hitcher had different rights in different territories, obviously. Oh, yeah, Ricochet. Oh, I'm sorry, Ricochet. Ricochet is a ridiculous goddamn movie. That movie is so fucking ridiculous. Ricochet. Although John Lithgow's a lot of fun in that. Denzel's, you know, Denzel. It's a fun movie, but it's one of those. I remember seeing that in the theater and going, "Well, that was silly." You know, it's just kind of like, that was silly. HBO still has Fortress 85, don't they? They do, but I understand it's actually getting a restoration elsewhere, maybe in Australia, from what I understand. So you may not have to worry too much about whether it comes out here or not. But I've been hearing things on Fortress, but I know nothing. But I've been hearing things. Collision Course and Collision Course. Oh yes. How Collision Course did not lead to a series. How that did not become another Lethal Weapon series with that great buddy comedy team up of Jay Leno and Pat Morita. I don't know why aren't we dealing? How we should have had 4 of those and a reboot by now. But you know, I don't know. Yeah. You know, the weird thing is that movie was directed by Louis Teague of Cujo and Cat's Eye. That's like, I don't think I've ever seen Collision Course. I don't think that was one of the last ones that DEG did. And then, surprisingly, they went out of business. After you make a smart choice like Collision Course, and that was box office gold. I don't know how the hell, I don't know. How did that not make all the money? You know, it's probably, my guess is Collision Course is probably not that bad. It's just one of those ones where you look at the casting and go, what? You know, really? Okay. But hey, it could have worked. You know, there have been stranger casting choices than that, I think. And Pat Morita was actually a really good actor, so I'm sure he could have pulled it off, and it would have been a nice change of pace for him from Mr. Miyagi at that point. So, but yeah, Jay Leno maybe that was never bound to be a huge hit, but oh well. They ran out of money before filming finished. Yeah, that would be right, because that was right at the end of De Laurentiis's existence. That was, yeah, that's another one. There's another, like Near Dark and a few others that got caught up there in their last couple of years. They weren't so much released as they escaped, because it was just pretty much a lot of their later releases in the like 87, 88 were just kind of like, here it is, and but like Collision Course didn't pan out, and Million Dollar Mystery didn't set the world on fire either. It was just they made some odd choices. I will say this: I have a lot of affection for De Laurentiis Entertainment Group, especially because of the Wilmington, North Carolina connection and all that, and what they brought to that community down there. But they made some odd choices in terms of the films that they put into production. For every film that you would go, oh, okay, that makes sense, you would go, there would be three others where you're like, really? What made you think that was a marketable idea? But, sometimes you got interesting movies out of it. Are multicom titles easy to license? I've never dealt with multicom, so I couldn't tell you. I know who they are. And I know that Don and Synapse, they've worked with them a couple times. But I've never dealt with them directly, really. Oh, okay. So, what else we got here? Now, if there aren't any more other questions, I think I'm going to take the next 5 minutes and wrap everything up. But again, the whole point of this thing was to let you know that Hunter's Blood is officially available through synapsefilms.com, through Diabolic DVD, and Orbit DVD. You can buy them right now. Cover A or Cover B, or both, should you feel the need. They are all available right now for ordering, not pre-ordering, for ordering. And we are making 2,500 of each cover, and then that is it. Will I be bringing copies of this to Living Dead Weekend to sell? I won't be, because I don't have a table there. But I don't know if Orbit or Diabolic are going to be present there. I know Synapse will not be. So I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But I don't know if Orbit or Diabolic will be. I'm not sure. I think Diabolic goes. I'm not sure. I honestly, I wish I could provide you an answer on that. I don't know. Fright Night 2 possible Halloween release. It's possible. I don't know. Again, I'm not making any announcements on street dates anymore, really, because just too many things that can come up that can derail your whole plans, and then you're stuck with a commitment to something that you can't deliver on. So all I'm telling you is that Fright Night 2 is well into production and is closer to the end than it is the beginning. So that's the good thing on that. Orbit does usually come to that show. Okay, well then if they're coming and there are copies available, I'm sure that they will bring some. Is Phantasm ever coming to 4K? That is a Don Coscarelli question. Don Coscarelli is the buck stops with Don Coscarelli on those movies. So you would have to ask him. I haven't talked to Don in a long time. But I'm hoping at some point that it comes to 4K. That would be a natural. And I think they've already done the restoration work on it already. So, why not? But yeah, I don't know. But that's, again, so if you bump into Don Coscarelli out there, ask him. He will know. He will know. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining me for this release announcement for Hunter's Blood. It's out there. Go get it. Thank you very much for your continued support for me and for Synapse Films. Try to do right by you guys and give you the best possible thing that we can give you. And we hope that Hunter's Blood will entertain you. And again, it's a really special little movie that I'm very, very proud to be releasing. I almost feel like we're the first people to really release it, but that's an oversimplification. But it's certainly reintroducing it for the first time in well over 30 years since it was commercially available. So it's great to be able to have it. Will there be a Hunter's Blood standard release? I'm sure there will be down the line. I would be. I'm not going to lie to you and say no. We're never going to do a standard release. I don't know though. It would be anytime soon, because unlike Trick or Treat, which like had a built-in audience and really got gobbled up a lot faster than we thought. I don't know if I necessarily expect that with this. So, we think that the 5,000 we've done will certainly cover the spread in terms of the interest we hope, at least that we're hoping. But hey, who knows? If there's a rabid demand, maybe we'll bring it out sooner than later. But it's not something that's on our docket. Certainly not for this year, I would think. I don't think so. But it's not something we've discussed. I have not done any work to even put one together for that. So it's not something that is imminent by any stretch. So don't hold your breath for that one. But I would imagine at some point, if these all go away, these limited edition sets go away, that there will be a standard release down the pike at some point. Oh, Ian, I was just talking about the fourth. This is the fourth release I've done so far. First being the After Effects documentary, second being Trick or Treat, third Hearts of Darkness, and now fourth is Hunter's Blood. So those are the 4 Red Shirt home video titles. And this is the fourth one. And hope to be back here making an announcement on the 5th very shortly. Because last year we'd had so much stuff in process, but then we never got nothing really was able to come out last year. But now this year, all of that hard work is finally paying off. So there's going to be hopefully quite a few of these announcements and releases for Red Shirt this year. So this will not be a no-show year for the label. So, all right, guys, thank you very, very much. And like I said, with Hunter's Blood, it's out there. SynapseFilms.com, Diabolic DVD, and Orbit DVD. Pick your poison and go get it and enjoy. And thank you again very, very much for your support. And it really does mean a lot to me. So thank you very much again, and we will see you soon.